Welcome to Get Organized at Work. I'm your host, Kayla Fahey-Ahrndt, healthcare leader, mom of 3, and your go-to guide for ditching the chaos and taking control of your workday. This is the show where we turn overwhelming to-do lists into clear, actionable plans so you can crush your goals and show up as your best self at work and in your life. Whether you're here for strategies to stay ahead or systems to simplify your workday, you're in the right place. Let's get organized, have some fun, and make this year your best year in your career yet. Let's dive in. Hello, welcome back to Get Organized at Work podcast. I'm Kayla, I'm your host, and today we're going to be talking about from Whirlwind to workflow, turning to-do lists into strategic Kanban boards with Microsoft Planner. Today, we're diving into one of the most requested topics I've been hearing from so many of you about, and it's how to take your to-do list chaos and transform it into calm, clear workflows using Microsoft Planner and Kanban boards. So whether you're leading a team, managing multiple priorities for yourself, or just tired of spinning your wheels in the daily whirlwind, this episode is for you. So I'm going to give you some tips. I'm also going to give you some resources and ways to take action on this at the end of the episode. So stick around. But as always, I'll remind you to join our free podcast community. You can check out the link in the description below or in the show notes. All right, let's get down to it. So lately in our Get Organized at Work podcast community, I've been hearing a lot of common themes, and when people enter the group, they also are required to answer specific questions about what they want to work on this year, and this is what I've been hearing in the questions and in the news feed. People will say, quote, I feel stuck in the hustle, or, quote, my to-do list is never ending. Quote, I'm busy all day, but I'm not sure if I'm making progress on what really matters. And quote, I'm responding to emails and putting out fires, but I'm not feeling strategic. I wonder if this sounds familiar to you. And I'll just pull back the curtain a little bit. The people in my group are not one level of leadership. There are many levels. There are people that are directors, managers. There are people who are supervising teams. There are people who are on teams. So it's everybody feels like this. So I don't want you to feel like, oh, if I'm in this certain position or when I'm promoted, I won't feel like this. No, we all feel like this at some point. And this is what I call the operating in a whirlwind. You're reacting to everything, managing from your inbox and feeling buried under your administrative work. You might even be keeping everything in your head or in a long Google Doc, OneNote list, or sticky note pile. If you're like me, you got the OG Post-it notes. But here's the good news, and that's what we're going to talk about today, is you can move from the whirlwind to the calm, to the planned, and you can move from the hustling without a purpose to becoming a strategic operator, a strategic thinker. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but my dog just jumped onto the bed where I'm recording this right now because I'm in my son's room, because that's the only free place in the house, a little behind the scenes. All right, so here's the thing. The key to turning your tasks and projects into something visible, categorized, and scheduled. So the key is turning your tasks and projects into something visible, categorized, and scheduled. And one of the easiest tools to do that is Microsoft Planner using Kanban boards. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So why do Kanban boards help? If you've never used a Kanban board before, it's a visual system where tasks live on cards and the cards move across different columns that represent progress. And it's usually sort of in the fashion of first column is to do, the next one is in progress, the last one is completed. And if you have a more, I would say, complicated or complex workflow, there might be other buckets in between, but you get the picture. It's basically, I'm planning to do these things, I'm doing these things, I'm done doing these things. You can tailor those columns, like I said, to your workflow. For example, you could have administrative tasks or a bucket for waiting on someone or needs my review or due this week. So how do you do that, or how do you use this in Microsoft Planner? So number one, for your administrative or your admin and recurring tasks, you can create a board just for weekly management items. And you can have buckets for a weekly review, emails that require more than 2 minutes of your time, meeting planning, like scheduling meetings and follow-ups, metrics tracking or reviewing, and communications you need to send. So these are all tasks that aren't one and done, but they weigh on your mind, right? Like you're sitting there thinking, I need to do these. I need to do these. I need to do these. And they're important. I think about these more as not necessarily leadership tasks, but they're management tasks, things that have to be done to make sure things are moving the way they need to move, that the communication is flowing. And when they're on a board, like a Kanban board, you're not forgetting them or reacting at the last minute. So that's for your admin and recurring tasks. For your projects, you want to have a board or a bucket on your main board for every project you're leading or contributing to. You can label tasks by status, category like internal versus external projects, or maybe it's cross-functional, so you have a project where different tasks belong to different groups. You can even think about strategic priorities or the performance dimension or the goal area of each project. And each task or card can have a due date, a checklist, like a sub-list of items that have to get done, notes or links for reference, and assigned team members. Now, your projects become visible, which means they're no longer buried in a folder or forgotten during the week. How many times have you zoomed in on those management tasks and then all of a sudden somebody asks you about a strategic priority? You're like, I cannot believe I forgot about that. Or the opposite, right? You're focusing on strategic goals and someone's like, hey, did you do this XYZ admin task? You're like, no. It's so easy. The list goes on and different ideas or items come up in meetings. When you have a system like this in place, then you have somewhere to put it when it comes up right in the moment. All right, so why do we want to feel like we're not in the whirlwind? Why don't we want to be in the hustle? It's because we want to go from feeling all over the place to strategic. And that's where strategic planning comes in. And I want to use the FAST goals mnemonic device. FAST is for frequently discussed, ambitious, specific, and transparent. And once your projects and tasks are visual, something magical happens. They become frequently discussed, transparent, very specific, and you're able to push the needle with them and make them more ambitious. They become strategic. This is the FAST goal method. So let's break it down. Frequently discussed. When your project is in this task planner, it's visible. You and your team can see it, talk about it during one-on-one or team huddles. I often have mine discussed during our monthly quality meeting, and it's just a good place for us to touch base off where are we at. This is still the goal. We're still aligned in this specific project. Ambitious, a good project challenges your team to grow and stretch. And when you break it down visually, it becomes more manageable. Same thing for ourselves. Sometimes we make these projects or tasks into way bigger things than they are. Then all of a sudden we reverse engineer it and we're like, hey, actually, visually, it's not that bad. We're breaking it down into small pieces, tackling little pieces here and there. And all of a sudden you look behind you and all the pebbles you threw over your shoulder become a massive mountain that you're like, hey, I climbed that. Specific, your cards and checklists let you break a big goal into bite-sized tasks. Same thing, right? Like we've got ambitious goals that we can challenge ourselves on paper. And then we're like, hey, how do we break it down? The cards let us use a very nice system where we can set deadlines, break it down into subtasks, and we can really think, is this urgent? Is it important? Or is it something that can wait later or should be reprioritized? And then transparent. Everyone knows what's being worked on and by whom, so there's less confusion and more clarity. Your team will not be asking like, hey, I don't really know what they're working on. Like, I know I'm working on this. Everybody wants to know that everyone else is pulling their weight. Also, it helps you be better able to communicate to your leader and one-up leader so they know the value you bring to the organization. And you can make sure that you are in alignment with everyone's goals by sharing this and getting feedback on it. So whether you're building a new onboarding process, leading a DEI initiative, or improving turnaround times in your laboratory, you're not just working hard, you're working strategic, which I think is the coolest part. All right, so from whirlwind to calm, here's what I've seen happen when leaders and professionals start using Kanban boards. They stop asking things like, what am I forgetting? They can delegate faster because the work is visual. It becomes sort of a standard work. You can see it, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, go check out the card with the resources, see what you can do. They feel calm when Monday morning hits because they already know what to focus on. Everything's there. And they start building momentum on the big stuff, not just crossing off the little things. So I want to share and emphasize, it's not about becoming a robot. I know everyone's afraid when they automate their systems or use some sort of computer system that They're going to be automated and they're going to lose that personal touch. But no, it's actually about getting stuff out of your head and into a system. And that system can start on paper and then go digital, but that system becomes your anchor in that storm, in that whirlwind, and that's where you're going to find your peace. So if you're currently overwhelmed, this is your invitation. You do not have to live in the whirlwind. You can become the person who works with clarity, intention, and calm, even when things around you are busy. Okay, so here are your next steps. Here's how you can take action today. There's 3 things, 2 main things, 1 bonus thing. The first one is watch my new YouTube tutorial. I just posted it this weekend. Head over to my channel. I'll link it in the description and in the show notes, and watch my latest tutorial where I walk you through how to use and how I use Microsoft Planner to build Kanban boards, and I'll show you step by step how to set it up, how to categorize your buckets, and how to stay consistent. The second thing is in the show notes and description of this video or podcast, as well as in the YouTube tutorial, I have a link to download the Microsoft Planner Kanban Boards Explained ebook. It is comprehensive. It is 20 pages. This is your DIY guide to getting started. Don't be overwhelmed, but it has everything. It has like how I love to set out boards, some really amazing tips for creative labels and tags, like things you haven't even thought of for making it fun, making it color-coded, making it personalized. It has how to communicate this with your leader, one-up leader, and with your team, how it creates trust and transparency, and how it makes you more efficient and able to communicate your value at work. It is a wonderful ebook. You can look at my examples and templates. You can steal my workflow, and whether you use it for yourself or your whole team, it's a game changer. So I will include that link for you as well. Bonus, if you want some one-on-one support, I am going to offer free 15 to 30 minute virtual coffee chats or consultations for folks who want to talk through their setup and brainstorm how they can use this in their own work. So just let me know if you want to do that. You can fill out the quick form that I've linked in the show notes, and then I will reach out to you after you fill that out, and we can grab a time and just kind of see where you're at and see what the possibilities are for your systems. So you deserve to feel organized, strategic, and impactful at work without burning out. And systems like this help you create that calm in the whirlwind. Thank you for spending time with me today. If this episode helped you, take a moment to rate and review the show. Share it with a colleague who needs it too. I know there's somebody you're probably thinking of. And until next time, keep taking intentional steps to get organized at work. You've got this. I will see you in the next episode.